Hello and welcome to the first episode, an interview on the Rinkside Review, an account bringing insights and updates about the ice hockey scene in Czech Republic. I'm happy to say that we're joined by a very special guest, Patrik Demel. Patrik, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. Just did some testing in the morning, so happy to be done with that, and just glad to hop on your first episode here, and then get dinner, get to bed, and get to work again.
Thank you very much for joining us. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. So I think we can get straight into it. So what are your first memories of hockey and how did you get into the game?
Yeah, so when I was about 4 years old, my mother, she's a physical education teacher, and she wanted me to learn how to skate, and especially for the reason she used to be a skier, and she thought that it's a good idea to start skating before you start skiing, or like do it at the same time. It could help you, the skating with the skiing. So she just like brought me to the ring, and I started practicing like with the, I guess you would call it, learn to skate program. I remember at the beginning I was a really shy kid, so I didn't want to go with the other kids to skate. It was a little bit challenging for me at the beginning, but then I quickly warmed up to it, and I everything just from then everything happened naturally for me, like in those first couple of years.
And when did you first pick up a stick? So of course you were skating and then
I think it was pretty right away. Like it was like first like a little bit of skating, and then like after a couple of practices I picked up the stick. I think it was like that. That's what I remember from that.
and what influenced your decision to become a defenseman?
Yeah, so yeah, that's little bit of a story.
Hmm.
I like always, like at the beginning you don't play with positions, right? But then we started play the small hockey, we call it here mini hockey. Just like on a one zone hockey. Like usually it was when I was growing up, it was four against four, and just the old coach, like I remember him like just telling me like, you are gonna be defenseman. You are the most responsible one. So you stay back, and the other guys gonna go to the offense. So it was at that time it was a little bit upsetting to me, because like I just wanted to have fun, score goals and stuff. So it was like, I don't think it was the best sort of direction for me at the time, because I think the best opportunity to be well-rounded player is to like play all the positions until the age of, I would say, at least 12. Like
Yeah.
try all different positions, see the ice in different perspectives and stuff. And yeah, so I got into defense right away, and I stayed back there for the rest of my career. But like surprisingly, I still got, I think, pretty good offensive instincts, but my scoring could be better. I think if I would have more sort of opportunities to get into those areas in the early
Mhm.
ages, like,
Yeah.
and be more exposed, to get that exposure.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's the story how I became defenseman.
No, it's definitely interesting because this year we watched quite a few junior matches, and the quality in the Czech Republic is just so high.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what is the system right now
Mhm.
in the youth leagues here, like
Mhm.
the under 10s. But I think the small area games are essential, especially in the early beginnings, because if the young kids play on the full ice or something like that, they're just skating, you know, and they don't get into battles. They just skate. It's basically like skating. It's like free skate. Yeah. So that's my opinion on it. But later on, then you also have to go to play full ice, because you have to learn the ice like geography, like I call it ice geography. Like you have to like get the orientation and know where the lines are, and the offside rule, the icing rule. Yeah, that's when like later on in the ages. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose as well, if you've had experience playing in multiple positions, say you drop back to D and you've played as a forward, or you've got those instincts, you've got a more well-rounded understanding of the game. So you're going to be more kind of able to see where plays might happen and predict things before they happen.
Yeah, 100%. And what I hear, like always, I hear stories like the best offensive defensemen are like, or used to be a forward until the age of 13, 14. Like I always hear those stories. I like one example that comes up to my head. Like I feel Philip Hronek, the defenseman for Vancouver Canucks. Like he was a forward, I think, until the age of 17 or 16. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be complaining here, but yeah, I think it would help me. I sort of, even though like sometimes like in when I'm playing games now, like I happen to be in a situation as a forward, for example, going from the penalty box, going on the ice, and I try to like play as a forward for a second, especially when we are pinned in our zone, and then we are trying to get out and get a change. And I have the understanding only from the tactical perspective, from what I learned from the coaches, like the routes and stuff, but I don't have the raw experience.
Yeah, we've got another guy from the Czech Republic going to the NHL this year who had that background that you just described. I read that Mikuláš Hovorka, he was playing as a forward, I think, in I think it was maybe in somewhere in Prague, if I remember correctly, and his coach said that he encouraged him actually and put him in the forward lines in the very formative grades, I believe somewhere between the 7th and 9th grade. So he had that experience. And I think, as you say, that's probably helped his game and developed him further as well.
Yeah. But on the other side, I can say that then I worked on my defense a little bit more, you know, like being responsible and like getting the good defensive stick, you know, like being able to defend with one hand on the stick and getting the poke checks and the anticipations, how the rush is coming against you, and how you are supposed to defend the 2-on-1, 1-on-1 situations. Then I got more exposure to that, so it has benefits as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think we really saw evidence of that in the playoffs, especially when you were down a key defenseman, Yanis Yaks. I think he was out for some time, and I thought that when I watched in Brno, the defensive side of Litvinov's game was excellent, really disciplined, really good decision making, stayed together as a unit, a really strong unit in the defense, and you made it really difficult and stifling for Brno to get any real, I would say, grasp or hold on the game in your zone. So I think that's a credit to you and the defensive side of your game and your teammates too.
Yeah, I think we really came together defensively in those playoff series against Brno and Plzeň, but also against Pardubice. I think we held our own defensively, and just like in both of the winning series, we came on the winning side, so it was good. Against Pardubice, we just needed maybe a couple lucky bounces to get the mental game going against them. But unfortunately, we weren't able to do that, and then we lost. But still, I think it was a great experience for everybody, and we put up a great battle against them.
100%. I completely agree. We'll go back to Litvinov later on in any case. But you, in the mid 2000s, Vtkovice were a very, very strong side. And they had defensemen such as Pavel Kubina, Marek Malik. What was it like growing up watching that caliber of player playing in your city?
Yeah, like Vtkovice, they were always a very ambitious team, what I remember, and when I was cheering for them as a fan, and a lot of great players were there. I didn't have particularly one favorite defenseman on the Vtkovice squad, but I really liked as a kid. I really liked the forwards. I really like Jiří Burger.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the local legend here, and I liked Zbigniew Ergle and Petr Hubacek. Like they
Yeah.
were line for a little bit, and that's my like those were my favorite players. Like growing up and rooting for Vtkovice, and I'm happy that like with each of those three guys, I later on in my career or in personal life, I crossed my paths with them. So it like really special people.
Yeah, I think that's something that, because the Czech Republic is primarily a hockey nation, when you're more likely to cross paths with these big stars from the world scene. I think Hubacek, he was a world champion. Interesting, his brother, I think he iced in the UK for a season, so he might be familiar to some UK listeners as well. But he's certainly Hubacek. How good do you think he was in his prime?
Yeah, I think it was like he was really a hardworking player, and they just like had such a good chemistry as a line. Like what I remember as a kid, like I was probably 10 years old at that age, and those were just the big dogs at the time.
Mhm.
And those two were Hubacek and Ergle were the young guns, sort of, and they made it to World Championship squads from that team, and then they had they sort of big careers. And yeah, it was like, and nowadays like Hubacek is like one of my favorite broadcasters on the
Mhm.
on the Czech TV. He has such a good insights about the game, and I remember I was doing uh like color commentary for some NCAA games for the
Mhm.
Czech television, and I remember him shooting me a message, like supportive message, like "Good luck, Patrick. Like you will do great in this role," and it was very encouraging, and it was like nice to lift me up from somebody who I grew up watching. And being a girl, I I worked out with him a couple of times in the summers when I was in North America playing in college. So and he's well known with his good like workout regime, and just just workhorse, just working
Mhm.
so hard. And we went for a couple hikes and a couple bike rides together, and I was able to keep up with him. And yeah, I remember like he was like going back at me like, oh, like you're like you're good, like you never back down. So I remember that from him, from being a year ago. And with Jiří Burger, he was still playing when I was like 19 years old, and I had my off-season training with Vtkovice. So he was there, and he was like he had such a veteran presence about him, and such a respect around him, because what he achieved in like with Vtkovice.
Mhm. Yes, I remember Ergle. He was so consistent all the way until he kind of, I think he finished his kind of professional career back home, if I'm not mistaken, in Vtkovice.
Yeah. He finished. He played his last season, and then he had couple injuries or
Mm.
something which held him back. So he retired. But I think it was at a later age too, like around 40.
Yeah, I remember him just being an absolute machine for Olomouc. Like it was like every single game he played, he seemed to get a goal. So he was really, right until the very end of his career, a real goal scorer. So yeah. And when you grew up, did you cross paths with a name that will probably be familiar to two hockey nations that are, well, they're not known for their hockey? Walker. So he's from, I think he was born in the UK. He plays for Australia, but he had his junior career, I believe, in Vtkovice at a similar time.
Nathan Walker, yeah. So yeah, I guess he was born in the UK, but grew up in Australia. And when he was, I guess, 13, like he moved to Vtkovice, like one guy which like I know here, like they with another coach, they moved him here because they saw this talented kid in Australia. And but he played for Vtkovice, and at that time I played for still for Poruba, and he was 94 year older, and he was also like so good, so mature, you know, so physically mature at his young age. So he played like 1-2 years up, so we weren't like going against each other. But then I remember when I went to play for Vtkovice for the U16s and stuff. So we've been around each other and we've been talking a little bit. He was a very hardworking kid and very mature, also mentally. So we had a couple conversations and stuff, and then he went on to have a great, like for Australian, great career in North America, and he won the Stanley Cup too. So.
And you yourself, I think in 2011, 2012, got your first invitation to the Czech under-17 national team. You also got, I think, double-figure goals and assists. What kind of inspired or helped with your offensive output that season?
Oh yeah, that season it was a little bit crazy because or not crazy. I was playing for Vtkovice for in the top flight of the U16 U18, I think. Yeah, U18. In U18 I played for Vtkovice first 2 months, 3 months of the season, but that team was so stacked, like so good. So I didn't have much ice time. So like in a mid season, I got moved back to Poruba U18, which was like the second tier. So the league was pretty. It was pretty. Even I was like the lower age there. I was like pretty. Like it was pretty not easy, but like I was able to produce there too. I was, I think, pretty like good for the league, but I didn't want to move to another city to play for another team because of the schooling, because of the high school. And yeah, I had a really good year, and it was good for me because like I was able to score goals. It's better to score goals, play a lot, get some assists is important. Like my grandpa always said, like it's better for you to play than just sit on the bench, like in the like even if you are in a better league, you know, like you have to play, especially in this young age. So and then at the end of the season, I remember getting called up to under 17 team for one of the tournaments, and there was great experience. I remember we played against Switzerland. I think we lost all 3 games there, but it was great for me to see that I can keep up with the players who play in the top league, and that I can have a like hockey career, basically, like not hockey career, but I can play on the top level for the next couple of years.
Yeah, and were you part of the squad alongside people like Jakub Vrana, Pasternak, I think Kubalik as well, similar time?
Yeah. I wasn't at the big. I never was at the big camps. You know, I was at the small camps. Those guys, also my good buddy from Vtkovice and from Litvinov, Patrickstal. He was one of those sort of like wonder kids, you know, of our generation. So I was never at those big camps. But I actually remember at a couple of those camps, I was there with Ondřej Kaše, David Camp, I don't know who else was there, like all these guys, 95, 96s. And then the birth year 1996, they had the successful under 18 worlds. They ended up second. But the 95s, like our birth year, we didn't have any bigger success. Always quarterfinals, I think. Yeah, but as I'm saying, I was a sort of a late bloomer, so that's why I never made it to like a big camp. Always when those guys from HC juniors came over, I was never with the team.
Yeah. And what's your relationship like with Patrik Strahal? Because you've been teammates in various different age groups, teams. How have you
Yeah.
supported each other?
Yeah, so with Patrick, we've been around from like 15 years old because he played for Vtkovice and he also played like 2 years up always. He was like one of the wonder kids, you know. So we really like we knew each other, but we really like became friends. So once I got to Litvinov and we played there for 3 seasons and we were from the same hometown. So we became really good friends, and I'm really happy that I can be back with him and play for the same team because I think also on the ice we have really good chemistry together. Like he's like amazing hockey player, and I think he's able to find me and create opportunities for me. I think I'm able to get him the puck in the defensive zone and get him going a little bit, and also like talk with each other over the ice a lot. So yeah, he's a good friend, really good friend of mine.
Yeah, he's an excellent player as well. I think that he went off to Sweden for some time, I think, and now he's back with you in Vtkovice.
Yeah. It didn't work out for him in Sweden. He didn't get the greatest opportunity there, but now he's here, and we are gonna be working on together on the Vtkovice squad.
Yeah, I'm sure that you're going to enjoy that. I can tell by the smile on your face that's going to be a really nice opportunity for you. And in your final year before moving to the United States, you played in the men's league, I think, for the first time in the third league. What was it like stepping onto the ice in a senior game for the first time? And you also were very productive as well.
Yeah, it's funny how you call it men's league. Yeah, but no, it was at that time I was playing in the junior league, in the Czech junior league, but I was kind of like I felt that I need a little bit bigger challenge, a little bit more games. So I talked with the manager of Poruba, hey, would you be interested to playing me in a couple of games? And they say, yeah, sure. And they put me in the lineup, and I remember playing those 2 games. I scored 2 goals in one game, and then back when I got with Vtkovice, like I went there just for the games, you know, to play with Poruba, and I got injured. I got the AC joint, like a little bit dislocated. So then I was off, and that's why I played only 2 games with Poruba there. But it was good. Like it was my first time with man in the locker room during the game. So it was great. I'm happy that I did that, and I was able to put the Poruba sweater on.
Yeah. We have a lot of guys going from this league, I think the one below the Chance League, to play in the UK. Very, very often, guys kind of make that jump across, I think, into the National League. I think maybe Luca or something.
Yeah, Vladimir Luka, he's a local legend too. Like he's a like very offensive guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% sure, but I played with him those two
Yeah.
games with Luca. I played with Luca, I think. So that's funny that you mentioned his name. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good guy too.
Yeah, he loves I mean like he's like he's been going on forever and he's still not slowing down. I wouldn't be surprised to look and see that his statistics were something in 70 or 80 points, you know. his understanding of
Yeah,
the game and how to get free, especially around the slot area, and he's just lights out from in there.
yeah, he's a really really good offensive player. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
cool. And well, we can talk a little bit about your kind of move to the United States, and we're going to touch a lot on the education side of it as well. But you must have just about, judging by the timeline, finished what in the Czech Republic is known as the Maturita exam, perhaps, and then you moved on to the United States. Did you take kind of inspiration from the stories of Andre Schuster, for example, to go abroad at that age?
Yeah, 100%. Andre Schuster was the highlight story, like
Mm-hmm.
at the time for me, at least for me. I think for like the rest of the people, it went a little bit under the radar. But for me, it was like something what I wanted to do. But most of the kids that go to play in the NCAA these days, or even these days, I think like or like after me, I think their families have the plan for them to get in the US like as early as possible, or like around the age of 16, 17, so they get more exposure from the college coaches and from the junior coaches. So but that wasn't my case because I was a late bloomer. I was happy to make the junior team in Czech in the top flight in Vtkovice. So then I made that team, and the second year I was the veteran player. We talked about the games in Peruba, and that was my maturita year, as we have in Czech, and it's very challenging. And my mother, as I mentioned earlier, she's a teacher, and she wanted me to finish my high school in Czech Republic. She wanted me to have something secured,
Mm-hmm.
because once you
Mm-hmm.
leave the house, like then like you never know what's gonna happen. So and she's like more of a safe person, so she was like, yeah, you have to finish this, like it's better for you. And also we didn't have that much information about NCAA and how it works in North America.
Mm-hmm.
So then I finished my maturita, and thanks to some connections, some like advisors and stuff, I got put on tryout to USHL, and I was there in Waterloo, in Iowa, in
Mm-hmm.
USHL.
Yeah.
But because I was at the time I was overage player, and also I was import, so I was taking up both of these spots. So I would have to be really exceptional for them to make sense to keep me. So for that reason, they said, hey, like there is team in the North American Hockey League, which is this tier 2 league in juniors in USA, and it's gonna be good for you. You'll play a lot, and you can make a commitment to Division 1. So I said, yeah, it's like what else I'm supposed to do? So they sent me to Bismarck, North Dakota, where
Mm-hmm.
I spent my year there, and that's where I got recruited to play for my college, AIC.
Yeah, and it's not surprising you got that call because you had a very individual, well, successfully individual year. I think that you finished ninth in the league in terms of defensemen in points, and then even top in the playoffs, from what I could find for that season. What were the main factors for your success that year?
Yeah, I think it was when I was in Czech, and like playing for Vtkovice for the junior team, and like the maturita and the senior in high school. I think in Czech is a very challenging. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a little bit too challenging
Mm-hmm.
for everybody. I think it's not very very healthy for
Mm-hmm.
people. It's like this big challenge, and oh, you have to pass this, and those are very formative years. And I think many kids like are not able to think for themselves what they want to do later on with their life. So, but that's discussion for another day.
Yeah.
So I was at that time. I was very when I got to Bismarck, and even in Waterloo in the USHL, I was very really, now I can focus 100% on hockey. and like I can do my own research, like what I want to do in life, like outside of hockey and stuff. So there was just like really good. I had a really great billet family, housing family
Hmm.
in Bismarck. So every like those things were working for me, and then like I was still not 100% sure I want to go to play Division 1 because I still didn't have the information because it was my first year, and then like understanding how everything works. But then like I remember one day, like I don't know, in the fall, like we were on a bus and I was like some teammates sent me the UND University of North Dakota locker room video,
Hmm.
and I was like, this is amazing. Now I'm gonna do everything in my willpower to play Division 1 hockey. Like that's my goal now. That's like it's gonna happen. And we had really good team, all team in Bismarck. So we went pretty far in playoffs too. So that helped me a lot. So those were many factors that played role to getting the scholarship
Hmm.
in Division 1 for me.
Yeah, and that season, am I right in thinking that you played in front of a netminder who's just played in the NHL this season for Washington? It's Hunter Shepherd.
Yeah, Hunter Shepherd. Yeah, like it's crazy. He's such a good goaltender. Like he's amazing. Even that year, he was like awesome. Yeah, he helped me. There was another factor because I I was still adjusting to that hockey in North America, but like there was Shep like saving every puck for me.
Yeah.
So he was brilliant. He was our best player for sure that year, and he had a great career in NCAA. He won, I think, the national championships twice with Minnesota Duluth,
Hmm.
and then he went on to now he's having a career in AHL and even in NHL. So I'm happy that he's doing that well because he deserves it. He was such a hard worker.
Yeah, yeah, he certainly had a very, very solid season this year. I enjoy. He was very good in the AHL, and then he got his call ups, and he did pretty well in the NHL as well. So yeah, it must have been very, very fun to play in front of a guy like that, being backstopped by such a player. And you moved on to play, I believe, at AIC. What was the admission process like, and how did you end up going specifically to this school?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, I came to the US pretty late and started the process pretty late. So whenever I call with any kids, like they always reach out and I want to have a conversation. I say, I like start the process early, start gathering all the information possible as soon as as soon as you can, because I was pretty late with everything, and then I was rushing to do all the tests. At the time, I did the ACT test only once,
Mhm.
and I was able to get a okay score. But I think if I would have like one more year to prepare, like I would definitely get it higher, I think,
Mhm.
and then get through the clearinghouse for in like through the NCAA clearinghouse. There's like the system that basically makes sure that you are that you are
Mhm.
not professional, that you never get paid, and that you have the amateur status, and then like collect all the transcripts from high school and my maturity exam like transcripts, get it translated to English. That's a long process,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
so I was pretty late on that. So I was in a rush, and teams also, like when you are overage, the spots are limited, the scholarships are limited because they already committed the players like early on, like in the earlier ages. So then I ended up being lucky because AIC changed coaching staff, or the head coach came, like Eric Lang, my head coach at AIC. He got the job, and they started recruiting the players pretty late that year. So, and I was able to get on their radar. He called me, hey, like I have a spot for you. Would you be interested? And I was talking to other schools, but like it was like nothing really 100% at the time. And he gave me firm offer, fair offer, and he also showed like talked to me about what is his vision with this program and how he wants to make it better, and what is his like 4-year plan. And I said yes, let's do this. My parents supported me with the decision, and I went to AIC in the later that summer, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah, it's you certainly were very successful both on and off the ice as a team. I think that you won, did you win the regular season and championship in 2018-19?
Yeah. So AIC is a small school in Massachusetts, and we weren't very good in hockey. We were Division 1, but always like ended up last, like last every year. But then Ergle came, and as I said, he told me that we will get better. The first 2 years we were crawling, like getting better slowly. But then my third year, my junior year, we won the regular season, we won the playoffs, and we got buy-in to the NCAA tournament, and there we played against the number 1 seed in the playoffs, St. Cloud State University. Like they were the favorites to beat us, and we beat them, we upset them, and that was like great experience as well. That was like one of my like favorite, like most memorable games that I played.
And what was the atmosphere like? Because I've seen like the American uni campuses are usually really kind of big and supportive of their sports teams in particular.
Yeah, so or like we had a small school, but we played our games at the AHL ring. So the atmosphere at our home games wasn't get that great. But when we played the away games at some of the bigger schools, that was like great experience to play in those games. Like I remember playing at Penn State. They have like they do the wide out. They have a big section behind the net. Yeah, it was a great experience. And then when you play at the tournament, you play at the neutral side. So those games are like they get full, but they are not as rowdy too. Like it's not as like the typical campus experience.
Yeah. And that's something that I got a question sent to me from somebody about the atmosphere in the Czech Republic. Can you compare the two? Like, so when you're playing in the Extraliga, can you see that it's kind of more rowdy or like, let's say, heated in the stands, or is it kind of just depending on the situation and the game? Or
Yeah, I 100% like the crowds in Extraliga are pretty loud, and the fan sections are amazing. Every team has something special about their fan section. I was lucky to play for Litvinov, and they have a great group of people there. Like as they call themselves Ropaci, and they are like really proud of their team. So I was happy that I experienced that playing with that crowd. And now I'm gonna play for Vtkovice, which is a little bit different crowd in a bigger city, and the stadium here is a little bit different. It's like bigger. It's bigger, and I'm excited to get to work and be really good with our team and play really good hockey, and to get the people to go to the stadium and cheer for us, because like I've experienced some of those playoff games when I was young and when watching Vtkovice, and like the stadium was full. Like I was sitting on the stairs because like I couldn't like get to the seat, how packed it was. and like everybody was cheering, and that was like really special. So I want to experience that again, but being on the ice.
Yeah, yeah, and I saw firsthand how, like, you're talking about the Litvinov fans, they came in really large number to midweek games during the playoffs. I was really kind of, and their trips were very, very long, in general, I would say, and they were really behind the team. You know, they were very, very supportive, and yeah, the large number was particularly impressive. And I say the
Yeah,
same.
they are very well organized with that. Yeah, so they once you are playing well, they come to support you anywhere. And when like my first 3 seasons in Litvinov, we weren't playing really well, but still they came to some away games. So I can't say that they are those sort of fans that support the team only when you're doing great.
Yeah, and I think Vtkovice this year as well, they really, there was a tough period of time for the team, but I do remember seeing still their fans were selling out their away end. They were behind the team as well. So that was great to see. And I'm sure that now you're moving on to your hometown club, you'll still feel that love and that support from them too.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah. And off the ice, we have to talk about probably one of the most impressive individual feats that you can achieve in US college sports, which is being awarded the NCAA Student Athlete of the Year. What exactly is that award? How did you balance your studies on the ice and find the time to be a champion on it?
Yeah, so basically that award is is for like the highest GPA, the highest grade point average in the league. And I got it 3 out of my 4 years, because 3 out of my 4 years I had the 4.0 GPA,
Hmm.
which is the highest possible. I actually got, during my college years, I only got one A minus. I don't think I got a B
Hmm.
on my transcripts there at AIC. And yeah, so that's how I got these awards. But then I got also, like, not voted. I earned the valedictorian, co-valedictorian with my teammate. We were basically the highest grade point average in the whole university, I guess. And but like, yeah, it was great, and I achieved that because I picked major and classes that I really loved and I was interested in.
Hmm.
My major was psychology with minor in marketing, and I was interested in everything. So it was like I would be just studying on my own here, like and it just came really easy to me. So it was good. It was a little bit of a grind sometimes, like you have to do homework and like prepare for the tests, but it came natural to me there. And also I don't want to be like knocking something down, but AIC is not like top tier institution in North America, but still I'm proud of myself that I got the discipline and stayed with the standards throughout my college.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a huge achievement. As I said before, there's really not many people who can say that they've done that. So have you used your degree outside of university, or has it just been fully hockey for you since you graduated?
I would say that it was fully hockey since I
Hmm.
graduated. Um I haven't used my degree yet. I got it sort of made equal in the Czech Republic, so I have my bachelor title in Czech Republic. I can use
Yeah.
it, and I can go get a master's now. But with the hockey, I was like, it was COVID, and then I was really busy with hockey, and it's really hard to find a program in Czech Republic that would allow me to study. like do the masters, let's say in psychology, at the same time of playing Extraliga. So there was I was always looking sort of for that opportunity, but I wasn't looking hard enough, and I just didn't make it happen, because my saying is, like, if you really want something, if it's your dream, like, it happens, you know. Like, if it's your if it doesn't happen, like, it probably wasn't your dream. It wasn't like 100% your dream. It was just something on the back of your head, like you were thinking about it. Yeah, like that would be cool, you know. That would be cool to like get a psychology degree, like the masters here in Czech Republic. Yeah, that's like I had those thoughts. They were thoughts, but it wasn't like full dream. Like I want to do it, you know. And later, as you get later in life, then the opportunities are smaller and smaller for you, and you have to really like prioritize some things. And I prioritize hockey at this time. And yeah, but I'm constantly thinking about education, and I'm doing some other things, how to better myself, how to be more educated in different fields which I'm
Yeah.
interested in.
And do you have, I studied psychology in the UK for a few years. Do you have any sort of inspirational psychologist or person within that field, like a Zimbardo or somebody like this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? I like something from like any like everyone. You know, from psychology. I uh, I like the field of positive psychology, and there was Marty Selinger from UPenn. I think like that's sort of the personality who started the field, like in, I guess, early 2000s. And also it ties together with the book. Jesus, I'm blank on that now. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I see now there. The book Flow. I don't know, like, it's the book about flow states, which summarized all the studies, like, which were done on the flow. It's by it's a really difficult name. He worked together with Sillinger. His name is like Chikmanishvili, I think.
Okay.
It's pretty like weird name, but that's very very famous book, I think, and it talks about the flow state and how to get there. And so that's important book which I really like. And sort of that field of positive psychology I like a lot, and I made some thesis work on that too when I was at AIC. So yeah, that was something. Those are like the two names. But other than that, like I think all every psychologist is really important for the overall field, because everybody is bringing different perspectives. And it's crazy how like each individual or the group like are focused on just one topic, you know, and they just like go down the rabbit hole and do all these studies, complex studies, and like devote their whole life to that. And now they are just like one stream, and like in like the bigger picture of the psychology field.
Yeah, and I think probably the most well-recognized name in psychology, Sigmund Freud, he's actually from, or he was born in the Czech Republic, or modern day Czech Republic as well. So there's a lot of innovative thinkers from the Czech Republic in all sorts of different fields, like creating glass. I think it was contact lenses were created here, and
Yeah. I think the name is Victor. Yeah,
yep,
because we have actually a high school here, a gymnasium called after him. Yeah,
yeah.
so I have to agree. I think Czech people are pretty smart, and when they get it like, and then when they love something, they become passionate about it. The hard work comes with it, and then the achievement comes as the result of that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And have you noticed, studying psychology, have you seen a kind of competitive edge within your game? Are you able to kind of use these kind of abilities to think in different ways to give you an advantage on the ice?
Yeah, I think yes, I know what's going on with myself. Like in certain situations, I'm pretty good going and having a like looking at myself, like having the different perspective, and like I'm able to describe it, like what are my feelings and like what's going on. But like human mind is like really really difficult, and like you can't just trick it. Oh, I read this
Mhm.
book, I understand what's going on. It's really hard. It's like constant training and constant like sort of like bettering yourself in the mental game, which like moves you like a little person, like 1% at a time. But so yeah, it helped me like in my game. But I still have to talk to. I'm not seeing sports psychologist, but I have a lot of mentors around me who I talk to on regular basis, I would say,
Mhm.
and who sort of help me to get my mindset right.
Yeah, that's great. I think that having that awareness can only help for sure. You returned to the Extraliga with Litvinov after coming back from the United States. How did that move come about and materialize?
Yeah, so there was I finished. No, I didn't finish. Like the COVID canceled our season in college and AIC, and then I had to go back to the Czech Republic, and I was able to start training the off-season training with Vtkovice
Mhm.
that year. And I was training with Vtkovice, and I was hoping to get like some AHL contract at the time, or like maybe ECHL contract. But I hoped for more AHL opportunity because I think I had like the production and resume to get a look
Mhm.
there. But unfortunately, because of the COVID, everything was postponed there, and nobody was willing to sign me, and players like me. So they are. Then I kept practicing with the team here, and I decided like, or like it was like natural. Like I stayed on the tryout here with Vtkovice
Mhm.
at the time, but then we didn't get an agreement on a contract. It didn't. It didn't like we didn't. It didn't pan out, sort of,
Mhm.
at the time. But I knew that there were other teams interested in me in Extraliga at that point, and then it was quick. I just signed with Litvinov and moved there and started my Extraliga career there.
Yeah, you talk about your production in the NCAA. It was excellent, especially in your final year. You had 2 plus 19, 21 points in 34 games, and across your NCAA career, you averaged 0.5 points a game. So I mean, it's really, really productive, and I can see why you were kind of holding out for that AHL, ECHL. But I think probably you'll have no regrets about moving to Litvinov.
Yeah, zero regrets. It was at that time. It was they had a spot for me. They had a spot for a young defenseman, and I came there, and the coach was Vladimir Orsak,
Hmm.
and he was really good and really good to me. He gave me opportunity. He was very good with communication with me and explaining me the the details of the game at the next level.
Hmm.
And also that season, it was the post COVID season, or like COVID season, so there was no relegation that year. So we were playing a little bit like without stress,
Hmm.
or a little bit less stress was on the team. So I got a lot of ice time in my first year, and it was good year like for me. But definitely like that summer before, like not knowing what's gonna happen, whether I'm gonna go back to America or not, it was a little bit stressful. So then I was happy to have the full summer before my second season in Litvinov.
Yeah. Yeah, and what were the major differences, do you think, between the NCAA style and adapting back to that Extraliga game? Did you notice any significant differences or?
Yeah, the pace of the game is a little bit slower here, like especially like in the forecheck and stuff is a little bit different, and also the style. Maybe it's because of the style how my team played at AIC. We were very predictable with each other, and it was more like we played sort of what our coach told us to do. Like everybody followed the tactics, you know. Everybody was like doing what they are supposed to do, and whereas here in Extraliga, it at times, not now, like in my last year here, it was more like that, like more like following the tactics. But as in my first year and second year, I think the players around me like were very creative and very smart, very good players that like made their own decision on the ice, and you sort of have to get on like on their wavelength, and it's not more like it's not as predictable, you know. You are playing more natural hockey, so I'm not saying something is right or wrong, but it was a little bit difficult to make some passes because I can say I'm not as good as like I don't have as high of a hockey IQ as some of the players I played with. So at the time, so I was sometimes stuck because I had nobody to pass because like they were there a little bit early, but I didn't see the lane, you know, because I'm just wasn't that good, you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that experience, so that was big difference for me. Yeah, like the hockey wasn't as predictable.
Yeah, and you did have some individual success definitely in Litvinov. You even were called to an international squad, if I'm not mistaken, in your second year. Do you remember who that game was against, and what was it like to represent the Czech Republic, full national team?
Yeah, it was against Austria, and I was there with the national team for 2 weeks, and it was a great experience. It was like so good to be with the best players in the country available for the training camp at the time, and meet new coaching staff. And the coach at the time was Kari Alonen,
Yeah.
the Finnish coach, and he was so professional. He was such a good coach, like great hockey mind, and just even though he's older, he was like able to relate with the players, with the young players. He was like saying jokes, and even though like I think even though that he wasn't speaking our native language, for me it was like easy to understand him. But I think even for the other guys, the guys who don't speak that well, who don't understand English that well, they were able to like understand him and what he's trying to say, and be sort of like following his lead. So I have great memories on that, and playing in the game. I was a little bit nervous, but I think I played a good game. But unfortunately, yeah, they had other plans. So I can probably say that I was the first cut of that year when the Czech team accomplished to get the bronze medal at the World Championships. So
You spoke briefly about this past season a moment ago. I remember going into the season reading a lot of things saying no one really knew what to expect from Litvinov, that it was kind of adding the two Kasher brothers, adding a fairly unknown quantity in Liam Kirk, who's of course a guy that we know in the UK very well. And of course, Kevin Chuchman came in as well, who had spent most of his career in the United States and Canada and partly in the NHL, it seemed as though the, let's say, media had a real trouble seeing where you would finish. But do you think that it does you a disservice to say that you overachieved?
Oh, I don't know. I just I don't like the predictions that much,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Like I like the predictions when I'm a fan, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like to say, oh, this and that, but when I'm involved, I don't like that. I sort of I'm at the moment, and my sort of drive is to be the best at the moment and win the day, win the moment, like, and just do my tasks. And that's how, like, and then whatever happens, happens, you know. I just want to be the best. So, but my feeling about the team before the season was really good, especially because we got Andre Kashedan,
Yeah.
and when I knew that he's gonna be healthy and he's gonna play for us, I knew that the rest of the team is good, and he's gonna make us even better because how good of a player he is. And then when Dave was healthy, his brother, then I knew that those two have a great chemistry on the ice. And then like I knew that like we will be a really good squad. And then we went on the run at the beginning of the season, so that pretty much set us like on a successful season. Yeah, like
Yeah.
those were the factors at the big, like, which I saw, and I was pretty confident in us right from the get go that sort of we will go we will have a good season. Yeah.
Mhm. And you wore the A as well for the past 2 seasons in Litvinov. How did you find that kind of added, perhaps extra responsibility?
Yeah, I don't know, like I just try to be myself, you know. I just try to lead by example, do everything the right way, you know, and try to show the my teammates like how it's done the right way. And sort of also I try to like be competitive in the practices and in the games, and just like get the spirit up, you know. And kind of like trying to like to take inspiration from that positive psychology field
Hmm.
which I mentioned earlier.
Yeah. I think watching you as well as a team, being part of that leadership group as an A, you must have done a very good job in that locker room because you had guys throughout the roster who looked really tight, really well put together. Some guys who don't particularly get the credit in the mainstream media. I think people like Petr Koblasa, he scored against every team, if I'm not mistaken, in the league this year. He was the only guy to do that. You had Nicholas Slava, who got over 20 goals. Abdul as well, who was contributing points for fun at points in the season. And of course, Liam Kirk, who managed to set a record for the amount of goals scored in the playoffs. What was the kind of factor that helped you go on that run, the X factor that you had?
Yeah, like you just mentioned the X factor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like I think and you mentioned it even earlier that we played a great defensive game in
Hmm.
playoffs, and Liam just got a heart. But I knew that he was playing well the whole season, but he didn't have, like, if you look at his numbers, they don't really reflect how from the regular season. They don't really reflect how well he played in the regular season. But then, so I knew when the sample of the games gets bigger, you know, and it extends instead of 52, it extends to 60, 65.
Hmm.
He will get to the, I don't know what was his goal total in this year, but it will get to like 25 or 30. I knew that it's gonna get there. And yeah, so I was pretty confident with him. And he Liam, like, he's my great friend. Like he loves hockey. I know how he loves hockey, and I know how just like proud he is like to work hard, and how he wants to be a leader of the team, and like help the team by doing what he's the best at, and that's scoring goals and being productive. But it's important also to note about him that he played for a big chunk, like the majority of the regular season, he played as a center, and that's not his natural role, so, like, he used to be a like primary winger, but he played really well as a center. He was like helping the defense, helping like in the D zone on the defensive side of the puck, but also with the breakouts, because he's as well such a great skater, so he was doing a lot of the breakouts himself. So there was something how he grew too this year, not only by scoring those goals, but I think he grew overall as a player.
Yeah, he was excellent, and speaking to him as well, he's such a humble, nice guy. It must be great to share the room with somebody like that as well, because it was when we were speaking about him playing center, he was like, "Hey, it's another string to my bow. I'm really enjoying it. The guys are helping me out." So it's yeah, I think it must have been good. And seeing also Kevin Chuchman as well, another guy who's had that top level experience in the room. All of those little things put together can really contribute to building something very, very good.
Yeah, I think a lot of little things, and I think our system was really good too. The way how we played, yeah, like a lot of little things that helped us to get where we got the last season. Yeah.
Yeah, great. And the final part, we had one or two fan questions come in about you. So Jiří Vítek, he guessed who you were coming on. I really appreciate his support and interaction, because he's been really big for our growth here. One question we got was, what's your daily routine during the Extraliga season, and how does it differ from your routine off it?
Yeah. So is this a game day or a practice day?
Let's say let's say both. You can talk us through a kind of game day and then another.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So my practice day, that's it depends if it's like the practice after the game, or what sort of like practice day it is. But usually I wake up in between of I woke up around like before 7 o'clock. I wake up. Then I make myself breakfast. Usually eggs. I need eggs. I need protein. Otherwise, like I don't stay saturated for the whole morning. So I get eggs. Then I like to drink tea, which is
Yeah,
like funny that UK is such a like tea drinking country.
and
But
I've got one
I
right
don't,
here.
yeah, I don't drink the real tea, which you consider real, like as the DM told me, like the black tea or whatever
Mhm.
like you call it.
Yeah, the
The
black tea with milk, or yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I drink green tea, but I have like if somebody is a tea nerd, I love to drink this Mongo tea from the tea shop here. Like it's like a green tea with a little peach, I guess, or
Uh-huh.
mango and stuff, a mixture in there. But it's still a green tea, so it gives me a little caffeine.
Mhm.
Then I go to the rink. I like chill there with the guys, have a conversation. Uh, I go pretty early. I like to get my stuff done there, like before the responsibilities happen with the team. And usually then we start with the team meeting. This in Lithuania, we started with a team meeting, which depends on what kind of day it is. Then we got some gym. Then the on ice practice. I usually stay after the ice where I do some skill work. Last year I did a lot of stuff with the assistant coach David Kochi, who played in
Mhm.
NHL. And with Kevin Chuchman, we did a lot of stuff together because like he has such a great like knowledge of hockey, I think. So he helped me a lot this year. So then I stay on for a couple of minutes to do some extra work, and then I get off. Sometimes go to the gym again, or go to recover to sauna or get a massage at the trainers. Then I go to get a lunch, like which is sometimes we go out with my fiance Bonnie, or sometimes she prepares me food at home. And then I sometimes, like if I'm tired, I take a nap, short nap, and then I go about my day. Like I as I was talking about, like I try to study some things, or we go for a walk, or do the like normal things, like some responsibilities, go to the offices and stuff. We have busy year sort of with my fiance. We are getting married, so, and she's American as well, so there was like a lot of stuff going on all the time with that this year. So that's pretty much the day, and then in the evening again dinner. I'm pretty high on nutrition, so I spend a lot of time in the kitchen with either by myself or with Bonnie, and it takes time to prepare the healthy food, like the best possible fuel for yourself. So I do that, and then I go to bed. So that's a practice day. I thought that it's pretty boring, but when when I started listening to things in the morning, there's like a lot of stuff. So for somebody who is listening and is not familiar with the hockey world, how it goes, so it can be like entertaining. And then then the game day. Then the game day is pretty similar. I just I don't know how big of a detail should I go, because I have some routines, or like preparations. I call it preparations. But yeah, like I go to the ring in the morning. The routine is the same as the practice day, like the breakfast and stuff. But then the practice is shorter, or sometimes we don't go on the ice, so I only go to the gym, do a couple of stretches, some exercises, and get the blood flow going, and then I have a team lunch. Then I take a nap, longer nap. I'm in bed for like 2 hours or 2-3 hours before. I'm not sleeping the whole time, but I'm there like because like I want to be fully rested before the evening game, and then it's the preparation at the ring. But I don't know if I should go into that big of a detail there.
Yeah. Are you a superstitious guy at all?
Oh, I'm not superstitious. I wouldn't say that I'm superstitious, because if some of my like the things that I do preparation that doesn't work out, like, or I'm not able to do it because like of the sort of ring we are at, or something doesn't go there like that way. I don't care about that, or I'm not doing any different and any special like draws, and if it doesn't land here, like that, it's gonna be a bad game. No, I'm not doing that, but I like the routine because I know that my body is gonna be 100% ready, like for the puck drop. So that's why I do everything. I try to do everything the same, like like, and I had my routine, and I always change it a little bit, like to what I think will suit me best, but I try to keep it the same. That's something what I learned from Nicholas Lidstrom. Like that was my sort of role model defenseman when I was younger. I watched this NHL 36 on YouTube many times, and he's talking about that he's not superstitious, but he has his routines because he knows when the puck drops, he's 100% ready for the game, and there are no excuses at that point.
Yeah, he's ready. Yeah, locked in, locked and loaded. You mentioned that you're getting married, so congratulations as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. And probably on to the last final question. So why do you wear the number 3 on the ice? Has been asked.
Yeah, so I wear the number 3 because when I got to AIC, it was just assigned to me, the number 3.
Mhm.
and that's what I had at the time, and I didn't want to change it. And then I wore different numbers growing up. Then I got to Litvinov, and I was thinking about wearing the number 5 as Nicholas Lidström, but the number 5 there is the legend there, Michael Travnicek. He's not like, his number is not retired, but he played the most seasons in Litvinov, and out of, or maybe it's retired, I don't know, but out of respect for him, there was no way that I would take that number, so I was just going with the number 3. But now I don't know if I'm gonna continue with the number 3 in my next chapter here in Vtkovice. So, but I'm not gonna unveil that yet.
No, that's fine. That's something we can watch this space on. And one final question that I would quite like to know as well is this season, for example, I was watching the playoffs and I saw a lot of very kind of underrated guys step up for their teams. Number one for me was watching Marian Adamek, seeing this guy kind of transform himself into such a well-rounded. I mean, it's clearly obviously been in his game, but he's maybe been overshadowed a little bit by some other guys who take bigger roles. Who is the most underrated player that you've both played with and against in your career?
Yeah, so Adamek, as you mentioned, I really like this game, or I like his game overall, like as I played against him last 4 years. And I think he's a great player. He's like very well rounded, and he's very undercover until they won the championship.
Yeah.
Now with him being like playing the like the top ice time there because of the injuries they had of the big dogs. So yeah, like there's one guy. Other underrated guy, I want to mention Matuš Sukel, or captain in Litvinov. I think he's very underrated. I think he's very hard to play against, and he really he works really hard and just gives it all every single night. So I think he's underrated in terms of the Czech league. And I also heard some comments. I have to say that on this when I have a chance now. I heard a couple comments from other media that oh, what is Suko doing still in the Czech league? We should rather play like some Czech players and stuff. There was a couple of years ago, and I was like, what the hell? Probably don't watch
Yeah.
the games. He fully deserves to be the first line center for Litvinov. And he's the captain for a reason. And so I think he's underrated. Other than that, on the top of my head, underrated, really under the radar in the Extraliga. Yeah. So I can mention Sirota too,
Oh yeah.
or almost. But now I think everybody knows that he's a really good player. On the top of my head, let me think for a little bit. I can give.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah, I want to think. I want to come up with some good answer.
Yeah,
Who is
it's
really
okay.
hard to play against.
There's a reason why Matuš Sukel is the captain also of the Slovak national team. I watched him play against the Czech Republic.
Is he gonna be the captain for the World Championships? I don't know.
That much I don't know, but however, when I saw them play in Bratislava a week or two ago, he was wearing the C, and I mean, that team was still really talented, full of really high level guys. And I totally agree with you. You see him, he's tough on face-offs. He's just a very intelligent guy who might not, let's say, pick up a huge amount of points, but I think he can. I think that's something you see. He's so multi-versatile.
Yeah, you're right on how versatile he is, but also really I don't think he's gonna come up with like that many points. Like I'm not trying to be like knock on him or something, but with like having so much defensive responsibility, as he
Yeah.
has, I don't think you can have like the top end production, at the same time. So I think he can be like 30-point
Yeah.
guy in this league, but that's like that's still freaking great numbers.
I think
So
30 points in the
yeah,
Extraliga is a really, I would consider it a high amount, simply because sometimes in some seasons there aren't a lot of points to go around. It's a really tough league, so 30 points, it's still very, very good.
yeah, and so I thought a little bit, and I will give you one more name, maybe who I watch out for in those games. I think Flynn for Liberec,
Yeah.
Oscar Flynn. I think he's British too, so it's good.
Yeah.
It's good that
Yeah.
I name drop him here. I think he's a very shifty player, and
Yeah.
he's hard to defend one-on-one and out from the corners. So I think he's a little bit underrated. And then I like Kosal on Sparta.
Yeah.
He made it to the national team for the World Championships, but he used to be really under the radar when he played for Maribor stuff. He's very physical and he's a great power forward, I think. So
Yeah.
those are just a couple of guys. But I like if I would think for a day or so, I could come up with like more
Yeah.
names and a little bit more under the radar for most of the people.
Yeah, I think the quality of the Extraliga is just so great. You've got so many options to think through in your mind. You go through them, and I mean, Oscar Flynn, as you mentioned, he's just a really good all-round player. The amount of even defensively, actually, he's very, very solid. His points production is really high. Someone who I can think of on the same team as him, who is maybe getting a bit more traction now, another Slovak guy, is Michal Ivan. And he's also a guy who I sort of watched this year, and again, positionally, he's excellent. And he's not going to be a D man who you see getting massive amounts of points, but he's very integral to what they did defensively, actually.
Yeah, I think Ivan is pretty well-rounded defenseman. I think his game is pretty like similar to mine. I think I would
Hmm.
I would say that's what I see. Yeah, and one more guy. Yeah, it's the newcomer for Vtkovice, Jan Bambula.
Oh yeah,
Bambula. Yeah, I think that player has a big potential, very big potential in Extraliga, and I think he will be able to get if he gets a good chemistry on the line, he will be able to get his production up.
yeah, and he's been very solid for Olomouc in the past few seasons as well. So I would certainly agree that he's one to watch out for. The roster for Vítkovice is shaping up very nicely.
We started practicing like the off ice training. I do it with the team, so I met all the
Mhm.
guys, but I knew most of them from before. And yeah, I was thinking about our team because like some of the players are not with the team, a lot of imports. So I think when I was thinking, I was like, yeah, our team is not bad at
Yeah.
all. I think we have a lot of talented players and actually with some experience too. So when we put it together, once we go on the ice, I will see more. I don't want to get ahead of myself because now it's time to work on the body and sort of also rest our minds still from the hockey. But I think it's shaping up pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, I will agree. I would completely agree with you. I think that it's looking like it's going to be well balanced for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Patrick, I've taken up enough of your time, I think. You've been An excellent first guest for me. Despite a bit of nervousness and things like that, you've really guided it through, and it's been an absolute pleasure, and I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I think it was fun time, and I enjoy every conversation about hockey. And I'm happy that you started this platform on the X, and you're trying to spread the word about Czech Extraliga in English as
Yeah.
well. So I think it will help the league to get more understanding from people from the outside, because Czech language is very difficult to understand, and nobody is going to learn about the Czech language in order to understand the Czech hockey. So I think you should keep doing what you are doing, keep doing the good work, and putting the work in. And I think it will get traction, more and more traction. And yeah, just keep doing a good job. And thank you for having me.
No, no problem. It's a pleasure. And I'm sure that I'll be in contact with you again. We can probably sit down in the next off season and discuss the season coming up as well. But certainly I'll come down and message you and say hello at some of the rinks as well. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All the best.